Hi, welcome to my weekly vibrational astrology forecast for the week ahead. This is for the week of Monday, December 23rd, going to Sunday, December 29th, 2019. So I'm going to be talking about in this video the new moon in Capricorn. I will also be talking about the vibrational astrology. The new moon in Capricorn is really special. We have a solar eclipse going on during the new moon. We also have some really tight, almost exact midpoints going on during the new moon, which I'll talk about when I get to the new moon. But this is a really powerful new moon for manifestation. Think about the new moon in Capricorn. It's a new chance for us to be the boss of our lives, right? Capricorn is like the leader, the one that's the boss, the one that's going to do what they want to do because that's what they see as the best thing for themselves or the others around them. So take this energy and use it so that you can create the life that you want to create with yourself. It's a time to do that sort of thing. We have a lot of planets in Capricorn right now. Mercury does ingress into Capricorn this week as well, so I'll be talking about that too. I will also be sharing a gemstone suggestion for this week for you guys to work with the energies too. So a few announcements before I get started. The first one, thank you all for commenting and participating in my giveaway last week. In last week's video, I said that for anybody that was subscribed to my channel and made a comment under that video, that I would give a 1-hour consultation to. I would choose someone randomly, and this person that I'm choosing is Ira H. So Ira H, you have won my contest for last week. So yay, I'll get in touch with you and we can set up a time to do your consultation. So I'm feeling festive. I'm going to do the same exact giveaway this week. So if you are subscribed to my channel, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know what you think, or just say hi or whatever. I am doing this for 2 reasons. One, because I really want to get to know you guys a little bit more, the people that are watching me, and I want to hear what you think. That's why I'm asking you to leave a comment. And I mean, even though it may be just something simple, you can just say, hi, Starlene, whatever, in the comments. But I do want to get a conversation going. I think that astrology is so awesome and has helped myself, and I help people all the time work through things in their own life and understand the energies that are going on, and to work through their lives as well as the people around them, and manifest things that they want to create in their lives. So using the energies of astrology. So I think it's really wonderful tool. And that's why I'm doing these giveaways, because I want to get some conversation going. So feel free to comment under this video. If you comment under this video, I will announce in my video next week which person is the winner of that contest. I'm giving one 1-hour reading away, 1-hour consultation away. Okay, so awesome. I also wanted to say that January is my birthday month, so I will be giving away things or doing something special in every one of my videos in January. So make sure you watch my videos in January. And that leads me to telling you, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. And if you like my video, of course, you can like it and you can share it on social media or whatnot. I really do appreciate that. And I love that I have been collecting lots of followers. It's been wonderful. I'm like overjoyed by the fact that I'm able to share my love of astrology and have people, use it and work with it themselves too. So thank you guys for watching the video, of course. And of course, let me know what you think. So I do want to say that I have a few things coming up. I've announced them in other videos, so I won't go into great detail, but I will tell you to look in the description box below. There is something going on in February of 2020 that I'm giving a day-long workshop in Davie, Florida. And then in March of 2020, there is a vibrational astrology conference that I will be attending. I will be doing live mini readings. Links to all that is below in the description box. Check them out. If you're able to come to any of them, awesome. It will be great to see you there. I would love to do that. And learning about vibrational astrology is really helpful. I am also going to be announcing next year some interesting things that I will be doing myself with vibrational astrology, not just with other groups, but with myself. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be coming up very soon in early January. Well, in early next year, I should say, in January. So all of that said, I'm going to dig into the midpoints and tell you what midpoints are going on this week and how you can use these energies to help yourself navigate through the week. The first midpoint going on, it's a midpoint that happened last week. It is Venus at the midpoint of Mercury and Neptune. This started on the 20th and goes to the 24th, which is Tuesday. The peak of it was on Sunday, and this is kind of like us having a strong attraction to something, but the strong attraction may be fleeting. So it may be like, oh, I'm interested in this thing and it's been kind of cool, and I'm like, I have like a strong attraction and desire to connect with it, but yeah, at the same time, it's not something that lasts very long, because that Neptune may create like a fog of over your eyes in this time. So you may be feeling like, oh, I feel really attracted to this person, this thing, this idea. But then as the week progresses this week, it starts to fade away. If that's the case, that's cool. Some things, either things or people or thoughts or ideas, are brought into our experience so that we can like understand them on some level or another, but they're not necessarily meant to stay in our experience forever. So that might be one of these things. If you've noticed that over the weekend, you got connected to something and it fades away by the week's end, this is why. So the next set of midpoints that I will be talking about are midpoints that are new this week. They will be starting and ending in the week. And the first one is Saturn at the midpoint of Venus, Jupiter. This starts on Monday, goes to Thursday. The peak of it is on Wednesday. I will talk about this one again because the peak of it is very close to the new moon. So when it gets the new moon, I'll mention this one again. So this Saturn at Venus, Jupiter, it gives us a strong desire for things that are tangible that we're attracted to. You know, that's that Saturn Venus energy. But the thing of it is that Jupiter is connected here too, so it can be inflated. So you may feel like you're attracted to something, but you also are, it could be a person, it could be a thing, could be art, could be beauty, could be like even writing, if you will. But you're attracted to it, but at the same time, it has to be something that's meaningful, something that's going to last, not something superficial because of that Saturn influence there, something real or tangible. So the next one is Saturn at the midpoint of Mars, Neptune. And I will again speak of this one because it does have a strong connection on during the new moon this week as well. So Saturn at Mars, Neptune, this can be a little bit misdirected energy. So this one starts on Monday the 23rd and goes all the way to the 31st, which is the following Tuesday. So it goes for a week and a day. So here we might have some misdirected energy. We may notice that we feel like our will is not like super strong. The reason being is because Mars is like that hot inflation. It's like creating something very intense, you know, giving an energy to something. And Saturn is like saying, nope, you're not, only if it's meaningful. And Neptune is like our dreams and our ideals. So if you feel like you're following your dreams and your ideals, you'll probably ease through this. But if you're not, you may be saying, well, what do I need to let go of so that I can create those dreams and ideals in my life? You know, what do I need to let go of so that I can create what I want? You know, maybe there's some things you need to cut away. You know, maybe there's something to let go of. It's something to think about. This week will maybe feel that way. I say maybe because it depends on where you are in life. If you're in the space where you're like, yeah, I'm really doing it, I'm really acing it, I'm making it happen for myself, then I think this will be an easier energy for you. But if you're not, it could be like, oh, I feel like my energy is being misdirected. Bring yourself back to where it's directed, where you want it to be. That's my advice. So my next one to talk about is Mercury at the midpoint of Mars, Pluto. This happens on the Monday and Tuesday, the 23rd and 24th. And this is excessive thought. You know, Mars, Pluto can be explosive. It can be destructive. It can be difficult. It can be challenging. Mars is our energy. Pluto is like one of the symptoms of Pluto is like our higher octave of Mars, which is like our supercharged energy. It could be compulsive or obsessive, you know. So here we are with this excessive thought. and Mercury is our mind. So Mercury is in between these two really feisty planets, saying, okay, we have to make sure that our thoughts are focused on what we want as opposed to what we don't. Because, the law of attraction does remind us that if we are focused on the things that we do not want, then we're going to get that. It doesn't matter if it's what we want or what we don't want. Whatever we put our attention on is what happens and what is created in our lives. So put your attention on what you really do want to create with yourself, as opposed to what you don't, because the universe doesn't care whether you want it or not. It's going to give you what you put your attention on. So make sure that your mind and your thoughts are not out on something that is not healthy or not good, or it feels kind of compulsory. Make sure that you have your thoughts focused on what you really do want, and you can have a lot of power behind them during this time to do that. So that is Monday and Tuesday. Excuse me. The next midpoint is Saturn at the midpoint of Sun and Venus, and it connects with the following midpoint too. Saturn at the midpoint of Sun Venus is on Tuesday and Wednesday, with the peak on Tuesday. This is us feeling like we want to find something that's not superficial in regards to our love life or in regards to things that we love. So we want to get to what is real. So if we've been feeling like a relationship is, been somewhat just present and not lasting, we feel like it's not going to last in our life, it may be like, we let go of it, and maybe there's a project we're working on that we feel like we've kind of lost the energy for it. Saturn comes along in this connection between Sun and Venus and says, hey, if it's not meaningful, then why are you doing it? Maybe it is time to let go. And when you let go, like, it's kind of reminds me of the metaphor of like, if you want new clothes, you clean out your closet. And why do you do that? Because then you're making room for the new stuff. So Saturn is saying, okay, if this stuff isn't working for you, maybe it's time to let go so that you can attract new things to yourself. So in the sense of love, because this is Venus that we're talking about, maybe that's what you need to do. And love can be, interpreted as romantic love, or love for, yourself, or love for, have you been loving yourself the right way? Have you been taking care of yourself the right way? Have you been, loving your things, your home, your environment, your car, whatever it is, like, have you been taking care of it? When I say love, I don't mean necessarily that you're in love with your car. It's just saying, like, have you been nurturing it and taking care of it? Do you need to tend to it in some way or another? Those kinds of things are what I'm talking about, because Venus is also about like possessions and things that we have, things that we're attracted to, right? So that's Saturn at Sun Venus. Now, the next one is Pluto at Sun Venus, okay? So Pluto at Sun Venus, this happens on Thursday and Friday. The previous midpoint, Saturn at Sun Venus, was Tuesday, Wednesday. So then Tuesday, Wednesday, we have this stripping down, letting go of things that are not necessarily meaningful to us. And then Thursday, Friday, we have this Pluto at Sun Venus, which makes things excessive in the love department. We may be really excited. There may be a fateful union of sorts that happens during this time. It may be a connection with somebody new. It could be something like that. There's a really good kind of feeling, but it can be like almost overwhelming, or like over the top kind of feeling, because Pluto can do that to us. But it is in regards to love, or what we're attracted to, or our things, our possessions. So first we're stripped away with Saturn, and then we're given this enjoyment to, something excessive or something beautiful in the department of love. So think about that, and think about how this week is reforming you. And then the next one is Venus. The next three midpoints, actually, they are all peaking on Sunday the 29th. So the next three midpoints, Venus, the first one is Venus at Jupiter, Neptune. This one is Saturday and Sunday, going on Saturday and Sunday. Venus at Jupiter, Neptune is kind of like poetry, maybe even like love poetry, because, Venus and Jupiter, Venus like makes things sweet and loving. Jupiter and Neptune is like expanding, going outside of ourselves. It is about imagination. We may have dreams about love. We may have like desires about love. There's an optimism that's going on, which is very sweet and very lovely. So the weekend may be very nice. The energy may be very nice for us. The following midpoint is Saturn at the midpoint of Mercury Venus. This is a one-day midpoint that is only on Sunday. And this is creative activity, but it may be a desire to be quiet or do it in solitude because of this Saturn energy. So, Mercury Venus is about creation. It's about poetry. It's about writing. It's about art. It's about beauty, expression of art, beauty, poetry. But Saturn is saying, hey, let's do it silently. Let's do it by ourselves. Let's not be out in the world doing it. Let's do it in our home or in our studio or something like that. And this can be, actual art or something that you feel that you're working on, a project that you're working on of sorts. But it is a nice energy. It's just still a quiet kind of energy because of Saturn, because Saturn wants to make this project, whatever you're working on, meaningful. So this is a great way to like start the new year. I know it's not the new year yet, but we're like preparing to start our new year beginning at January 1st. We're preparing ourselves to say, hey, this is what we want to create with ourselves in the new year. What does that look like for us? So this is a great time for us to do that. The last midpoint, I keep saying aspect, sorry about that. The last midpoint that is going on Sunday is Venus at the midpoint of Sun Neptune. So Venus at the midpoint of Sun Neptune is our dreams and our ideals. It is saying, what are your dreams and your ideals? They may come and bubble to the surface during this time. You may have a chance to say, hey, I really want to create this in my life. And this is a good time to set some intentions with yourself. The new moon in Capricorn, which I haven't even gotten to yet, we'll talk about that in a moment, kind of sets us up for setting the intentions. And then the weekend, that's earlier in the week, and as the weekend unfolds, we're given the opportunity to actually put some action to it, or actually, start doing our daydreaming, our thought process, and how we're going to actually create that in our lives. Because, in a sense, we can first have a thought and maybe write it down, maybe like, put it on a spreadsheet or whatever it happens to be. And then we have to take action upon it, or else it's just a thought, So ideas have to start with a thought, but then they have to be executed. So I feel like this is a great time for us to say, okay, this is our thought. This is our deal. This is what we want to have go on with ourselves. And now we're going to execute it. So this is kind of how I see the week flowing for us. The last midpoint to talk about that will begin this week and end up next week, it is Pluto at the midpoint of Mars Neptune. This starts on the 29th on Sunday and ends on January 3rd. So the following Tuesday, the following Friday, and the peak is on Tuesday. So this is kind of a lull in energy. You may feel like, there's definitely a shift in energy from what we were feeling over the weekend to like almost feeling like we're tired, we're like a little bit drained or whatnot. And I think that this is like a natural flow of things, because we have a lot of excitement going on during this week, and leading up to Sunday, it's like a lot of excitement, a lot of creativity, a lot of things happening. And then leading up to Sunday, maybe Sunday towards the evening, even leading into next week, it's like, oh, okay, all this excitement is like getting me a little bit drained, a little bit tired. Our energy levels drop a little bit, and that's okay. Allow yourself that little space of letting that happen, because the new year comes in, we'll be able to start to grasp and make happen what we really do want to make happen. So this is, Pluto at Mars Neptune. Make sure you think about your dreams and your ideals. If you're not actually focused on them, I feel like if you're holding on to things that you need to let go of, I think that you're going to have a harder time with all of this, as opposed to if you let go of the things that aren't necessarily what are meant for you on the next part of your journey. I know I've said that a few times in my videos, but I feel like this is really a theme with this Saturn Pluto energy that we're leading up to in just a few weeks now, but when they conjunct each other. I mean, it's just a few weeks away, and this has been something we've been talking about for a long time, and it's coming to the point where it's like happening. So, okay, that is our midpoints for the week, except for the midpoints I will be talking about during the new moon. The first thing I'm going to talk about here are the 2 planet aspects and the ingresses that are going on this week. Monday, the 23rd, we have no exact aspects. We do have the remaining Mars sextile Pluto aspect. It's still going on. It ends on Monday, like the energy of it ends on Monday. It started on Saturday, last Saturday, and ends on Monday. And this is a powerful aspect that makes us want to accomplish things. So if you felt like you wanted to accomplish things and get things done over the weekend, maybe you'll feel that into Monday too. This does not the exact was on Sunday, the previous Sunday. So you may be feeling like the ending part of that. And I will say too that these dates that I give you guys as far as when things begin and end, you may feel them before and you may also feel them after. And the reason being is because it's like a leading up to it. I use very small orbs. So this is when I talk about this is like, this is really strong during the times and the time frames that I give you that it's in, in play. But leading up to it, it's like it's starting to happen. It's accumulating. It's getting closer, and then there's that peak that I talk about. And then there's the decline where things start to move away from each other. So you may be feeling things past the time that I say this ends or leading up to it. It's just because you're a little bit more sensitive to the energy, or maybe you have a personal planet connecting to whatever it is that I'm talking about. So moving on to Tuesday, the 24th, we have the Sun in Capricorn making a trine to Uranus and Taurus. This peaks at 9:45 p.m. and we'll feel this on Tuesday and Wednesday. This is exciting. This is fun. This is like, great for those of you guys that are celebrating Christmas. Those people that are celebrating Christmas, it's a fun, exciting time for Christmas Eve, Christmas day. If you have celebrations to go to, it'll feel like you're excited. You might feel like the life of the party. Dig into that wave because it's nice. It feels good. If you're in solitude, then, enjoy that solitude. And I'll tell you why in a moment. That you might also be feeling like, oh, I want to be by myself and chill. But, like during this time, you also may be feeling excited. It will go either direction for you. So the next day is Wednesday, the 25th. This is Christmas. There are no exact aspects to talk about. On Thursday, the 26th, we have the new moon in Capricorn. This peaks at 12:13 a.m. Eastern time. So this is a new beginning, new moons, new beginning, a time to revitalize yourself, a time to say, okay, this is where I see myself now, where I see myself in a month, where I see myself in 6 months, where I see myself in a year. This is a chance for you to say that to yourself, to figure out what are those things that you want to accomplish. Capricorn is the zodiac sign that wants to be the boss, so be the boss of your own life, Saturn, I keep saying Saturn rules over Capricorn. But I keep saying Saturn, but Capricorn is definitely the one that wants to say, I am in control. I'm in control of this helm. And we all are. We're all in control of our own lives. And we need to nurture and take care of it so that we can create that life that we desire. So what is it, that life that you desire? What does it look like for you? This is a great time to set some intentions for that. The reason I say that too is because there are some very strong midpoints that are going on during the new moon in Capricorn. The first one is the sun at the midpoint of moon Jupiter, and this is only 37 minutes. It's not even a degree away from being exact. This is optimism. This is a state of being happy and connected. This is a state of feeling very content. So the sun, moon, you see them both there, has this Jupiter energy. Then we turn around and we have the moon, obviously because the sun and moon are in the same degree. The moon is at the midpoint of Sun Jupiter, also at 37 minutes. This is like a happy, healthy soul. It feels really good. Our body feels really good. We have a harmonious expression going on. We also may have a good feeling. It's a good vibe. This happens early in the morning on Thursday. If you are in the western part of the United States in the Pacific coast or whatnot, it will be early or late at night on Wednesday. So this is an over the night kind of aspect that's going on, but it is powerful at the same time. So we're feeling happy. We're feeling excited. We're feeling joyful because Jupiter is bringing in that joy during this time. What a lovely way to spend Christmas if you are, someone that celebrates Christmas. Now, the next thing is even stronger that I'm going to talk about. It's the next midpoints. I mentioned them earlier. It is Saturn at the midpoint of Sun Venus, and this is only 1 minute from being exact during the new moon. Okay, so I talked about it before, and like I said, this is Tuesday and Wednesday aspect. This is a feeling of wanting love to be real. So releasing what is superficial. So this may be a time where you say to yourself, okay, new moon in Capricorn, time to set some intentions for myself. This stuff that I've been working on is not really real. What is real to me? What is going to last? What is going to catapult me into the future? What is it? This is an opportunity for you to do that. That's a Saturn energy. And then we also have the Saturn at Moon Venus, of course, because Moon and Sun are in the same degree during the new moon. So Saturn at Moon Venus at 1 degree, and this is real lasting feelings. We want our feelings, our emotions that we're feeling during this time to be real, to be authentic, to be meaningful. So you may notice that the connection that you have with other people during this time, you really want authentic connections. You want things to be real. You want things to be meaningful, because that's an important part of this. And, that's very Capricorn too, by the way. Authenticity and, being honest and real is very Capricorn energy too. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about for the midpoints during the new moon is Saturn at the midpoint of Venus Jupiter. I did talk about this one already, but I'm going to talk about it again because it is only 36 minutes away from being exact. And by the way, minutes are not a measurement of time. When I say minutes, they're measurement of space. So that's just an expression. I don't want you to get confused with it being 36 minutes in time. So I talked about this already. The peak is on the 25th, on Wednesday, the 25th. And what Saturn at Venus Jupiter is a very strong desire for tangible things that you're attracted to, that means something. I mentioned this before, how it inflates us and how it makes us want to say, okay, this is what's important and lasting for us, as opposed to something frivolous. I feel like I sound like a broken record because I'm talking about Saturn so much, but really this is what's going on, so don't hold on. Like my biggest thing for you guys is don't hold on too tightly to something that you shouldn't be holding on to, because if you're holding on too tightly to something, then you're not leaving room for something else to come in its place. And that in itself creates disharmony with yourself. So let go of that which is not really meant for you. Let it go. Don't be afraid of that, because you're making room. You're cleaning out your closet. You want those new shoes, those new clothes, whatever. Okay, so the last two things that I'm going to talk about for the new moon, the midpoints for the new moon, is Saturn at Mars Neptune. Sorry, the last one thing. I did mention this one as well. Saturn at Mars Neptune. This is going on. It's only 23 minutes from exact, but since it's a long aspect, it is something I talked about already, but the peak doesn't actually happen until Friday. But again, this is misdirected energy. So this is a time of, in the sense that it could be misdirected energy. I want you to remember that all of this good stuff that I've been saying about letting go of things that aren't important to you and aren't meaningful to you, don't miss this opportunity to project these intentions for yourself to do that, because your energy is somewhere else, you know? And I think that's an important part of this. We all have the ability to have things, you know, our energy to be taken away from ourselves during this time, our feeling of, you know, not really being focused or being clear. Try not to allow that to make you, you know, not reach these goals or not set these intentions for yourself during this new moon. I think that's an important piece to the puzzle here. So if you're feeling like you're, you know, all over the place, then your results are going to be all over the place. Set your intentions to create this new, whatever you're trying to create with yourself, this new year ahead of yourself. A lot of people have told me they've had a really crappy 2019. I can kind of agree with that. I've had a rough 2019, but you know what? I'm going out with a bang on 2019, and I'm going to make 2020 even better. So I hope everybody else kind of feels that way too. This is like the universe cosmic way of us saying, hey, opportunity here is knocking. Are you going to grab it, or are you going to just let it slip through your fingers? You know, I think the potential is that it could slip through your fingers because of the Saturn, Mars, Neptune energy, but don't let it. You know, if you're aware of it, then you know. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Grab a hold of what you want and then run with it. Make it happen. Okay. So that winds up the new moon. The next thing is Friday the 27th. We have the sun conjunct Jupiter. Both of them are obviously in Capricorn. This happens at 1:26 p.m. and it is felt Thursday through Saturday. The peak is on Friday, of course. This has us getting out of that rut. Like a lot of us have been in a rut lately, and this has us feeling expansive. Let's do something with ourselves. Let's get philosophical. Let's like think about what is important to us. You know, this is the sun. This is like us saying, hey, this is our vibrancy, conjuncting with Jupiter, which is like, you know, in traditional astrology known as the major benefic, you know, and this planet is like expanding our awareness, expanding our thoughts, our philosophy. It's a chance for us to say, okay, thank you 2019 for all the lessons. It's time for me to get up and start to expand myself and to grow into where I want to be and project myself in 2020. Okay, so it's a great energy for that. And like I said, Thursday through Saturday, we'll be feeling this. And on Saturday, the 28th, we have Mercury making its ingress into Capricorn. This happens at 11:55 p.m. and it will be in Capricorn until the 16th of January. So from the 28th of Saturday, the 28th of December to January 16th, 2020, we have Mercury in Capricorn. So here we have our thoughts, which is Mercury under the flavor of Sagittarius for the last several weeks. And now our thoughts are moving into under the flavor of Capricorn. When our thoughts were in Sagittarius, when Mercury was in Sagittarius, we were thinking philosophically, we were thinking about jovial things, fun things. Now that Mercury is making its ingress into Capricorn, it's kind of like our thoughts are turning from being philosophical and expansive to a more serious tone. We want to kind of organize ourselves. We want to get things, you know, put together for ourselves. And this is a great time for us to do that. Our thoughts are being flavored by the zodiac sign of Capricorn, saying, hey, this is a chance for us to, you know, really put thought to what we want to make happen. You know, those thoughts that we have, put them on paper and spreadsheet, whatever, and then start to take action to making them happen. So this is, you know, what Mercury into Capricorn is going to give us, this kind of energy. So that is Mercury in Capricorn on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the 29th, there are no exact aspects, not even lunar aspects. So it's kind of a chill day, nothing really much going on. So that winds up my astrology for the week. I'm going to talk about the gemstone for the week. Okay, so I have a couple gemstones for the week to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is rhodochrosite. Here's a really big slab of rhodochrosite. It is a stalactite, as you can see. It's a cutaway of a stalactite, which is like the water drips down and kind of creates these like columns, so to speak. This is just the cutaway of it, and that's what creates these circles. So rhodochrosite, I love rhodochrosite. You do not have to have a big piece like this. It's one of my favorite pieces of, or favorite stones that I have. But the energy of rhodochrosite, it helps to heal old wounds. It helps to assist one to live unconditionally, to love unconditionally. It is very cheerful. It has a very cheerful vibe to it, and it helps to de-stress. If you're feeling stressed out, you can put a piece of rhodochrosite on your heart, and you can just sit there for a few minutes, and it will soothe anxiety. And I brought a small piece of rhodochrosite, which is just as good, works just as good. I just wanted to share with you my big, beautiful piece of rhodochrosite. But this is another, example of rhodochrosite. You do not need a big piece of it just to hold it in your hands. This is one of my favorite stones. Like between this and fluorite, I really don't know which one I would choose. It probably would be rhodochrosite if I had to choose just one. So for that, I think that during this whole week, unconditional self-love, that's an important thing for us to focus on. So that's a great stone for us to work with. Now for the new moon, those of you working with the new moon energy, and those of you, that want to kind of connect with that Capricorn energy, I have two stones. This is black obsidian, and I always couple black obsidian with quartz. So here's black obsidian and quartz. The reason I do that is because black obsidian can be somewhat draining in energy. Black obsidian can be somewhat draining in energy and can give almost a void of energy. So I would suggest connecting, if you want to use this stone, connecting it with quartz, which will amplify and bring in positive energy. So this is great for working with the Capricorn new moon. So you want to let go of the old, let go of the negative energy. That's that obsidian, that black obsidian. And then you want to draw in something new, which is the quartz. You might meditate with one in each hand and meditate and connect with during the new moon. You might want to do that. And connect with, your intentions, or light a candle and say a prayer and hold these stones. So those are two stones that I think might be very useful for you during the new moon in Capricorn. So this winds up my video for the week. I know it's been a long one. I thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say goodbye and thank you. Of course, make sure that you make that comment and let me know what you think, so I can see and put you in the contest for next week to see if you win the 1 hour consultation that I'm giving away to one person. Come back to see me next week. Next week I'll be talking about Mercury trine Uranus, Mercury conjunct Jupiter, Mars ingress into Sagittarius. Lots of cool stuff going on next week. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Namaste.